Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Someone might wonder, how is this yoga? I'm sitting in one place. I'm only using my tongue, my ears, and really my fingers. There's a triangulation between the three. How will that affect anything or affect change? In the 1960s, in physics, there was a theory that got traction called chaos theory that explained natural phenomena starting with very subtle events that would take place. For instance, as the quintessential example of that, a butterfly flaps its wings, it makes a very slight breeze. And through chain reaction, one thing leading to another in the physical world, the butterfly in the Bahamas flaps its wings, and then later on in Iowa, there's a hurricane. And in modern science also, we have the department of what's called cymatics. And in cymatics, there are numerous experiments. You can find hundreds of them, thousands of them on YouTube, showing the power of music to organize matter. For instance, using sound vibration aimed at a plate with sand on it, then you'll notice at the different frequencies, the sand or the grains of rice will reorganize themselves into patterns, geometrical patterns. And with very complex music, then it becomes more elaborate and so forth. If you put the two concepts together, the subtlety that eventually manifests in a bigger event, and the Vedic concept of sound coming through mantra. It's a particular sound, that reorganizes everything. And of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us a couple of principles to make the experiment in our lives and the transformation effective. As you know, all of you have, I'm sure, done labs in the past, and the conditions have to be right. So one of the conditions is that one has to have a humble heart and mind in approaching the holy name. And that means in body, mind, and words, and not just at the time of chanting, but it has to be integrated into one's lifestyle. And the way that one approaches others, the way that one looks at the world. I am insignificant. I am an instrument. I give respect to all others. How can that be done? Well, Mahaprabhu says, see each person as a spiritual spark and the potential within them and their connection to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and practice it. That's why he says one should be ready to offer all respects. So get ready for that. That's the lifestyle which prepares us to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his holy name and actually vibrate the mantra in such a way that it becomes fully effective in our lives. So Mahaprabhu gave this scenario that, okay, I've realized that the holy name is Krishna. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. All his personal presence is there. However, I can't do it. I'm so unfortunate. I still can't do it, even though I know it. So he said, here's how to rearrange the clinical setting so that you can do it. Srinad api sunichena toror api suhishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Work on your attitude towards the world, towards other people. And if you develop a humble heart, it just sounds good, doesn't it? Have a humble heart. If you develop a humble heart, and if you've ever met anybody with a truly humble heart, there's a way in which you just gravitate towards that person. So Krishna gravitates towards those who have a humble heart also, and who respect others. And try this. Don't be ready to not accept any respect in return for anything. What if you lived in that space? Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, then you could go Kirtaniya Sadahari. You can go on singing the name effectively. He'll appear on your tongue, in your heart, in your mind, and everything becomes self-evident from that point. So we have to perform the experiment on ourselves. And every day, the Japa is an opportunity to do that. Now, intention, we started with the word intention. Ten, the word from Latin, means to stretch towards something. So we can notice how much I'm able to actually stretch towards the holy name. And that will, to the degree that I've developed a humble heart, to that degree, I'll feel myself stretching towards the holy name, that I don't have any other shelter. I'm helpless. I'm humble. I'm respectful towards all living beings. And now my only connection is the holy name. So I stretch towards that. If I'm not humble, if I'm distracted by my own ego, thinking I'm the center of everything and I have to be respected, it's very hard to stretch towards the holy name. So if we put all the concepts together, understanding the power of sound, its subtlety, then manifests outwardly in our life, especially when the sound vibration is a channel that is coming down from the spiritual world. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. The sound vibration itself has been brought through a special channel of those whose hearts are completely humble and who have passed it on to us. And if we experiment with that every single day, trying to contact the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if we can tune that dial and we hit the frequency even for a millisecond, and we hear the vibration the way it is, coming from the spiritual world, everything will be transformed. Every cell in our body, every aspect of our life, our attitude, everything becomes transformed into and put in its proper place. And I'll just finish with the verse I started with. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janaya Yashuvairagyam Jnanam Chayarhaitukam. The idea of this verse is that everything is achieved by the process of direct devotional service, direct contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Mahaprabhu taught us this simple yet profound process of contacting Him through this chanting, Om Tat Sat. And now we'll take a few reflections from any of your experiences from chanting today, or any reflections of the ideas we talked about. Yes, Yogesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Hare.
Guru Maharaj, it was definitely a different chanting today. And most importantly, like I just remembered your sentence that I'm a beggar, I'm a spiritual beggar. So today I begged to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his mercy so that I can be a best spiritual beggar. And I was begging his mercy, mercy, mercy. And the second thing that today I also realized that I remember talking to Venugita Mataji, and she told me once, rather she told to Vedashri, and then through that channel I received this knowledge that every bead that I'm holding this is the lotus feet of Krishna, and just want to hold that lotus feet every time, every beat that I chant, and that is just going to be my goal, and that I just want to keep it as my goal here onwards. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Yogesh Prabhu, for sharing your realizations about begging and holding on to Krishna's lotus feet. Hare Krishna. And now we have Prema and Premi.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So we were thinking when you were talking about the different experimentations about a doctor that names is Emoto. He's from Japan, and he also do some experimentations about water, and he puts sounds, different sounds, and in each one it has different results. Depends the music that he put. So we want to share that, and also that this desodorant, it says, "What's inside matters." So I was thinking about that. What is inside in our heart when we are chanting, when we are doing our service, is so important. Thank you so much.
Ooh, very good. What's inside matters. Yes, I'm aware of the experiments in Japan. Perhaps we'll put together a short presentation about some of the experiments that are done in cymatics and sort out all the ones that have been vetted as much as possible. And I think we can adopt that motto, what's inside matters. That's good. We steal mottos from other companies. Okay, let's see. We have Naimisharanya and Sukeshri. Sukeshri?
Hare Krishna.
Hi.
Okay.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Sorry.
That was my fault. I made it crisscross. All right, go ahead, Naimisharanya. I keep forgetting which one goes first. I think it's Sukeshri, then Naimisharanya, then Bhakta and Mit. Now I'm figuring out the geometry here. Go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, I was long time back, I had heard a beautiful lecture by Urmila Mataji where she mentioned that how Ravana takes away Sita from Rama, all the living entities in the material world just wanted to enjoy the pleasure potency by themselves. So it's like by taking away Radharani from Krishna. So I don't know why I just struck that, and all through this chanting, I was thinking, when I'm going to be happy when I put Radharani and Krishna together. So that kept coming, and I think that really helped me in my chanting. Like when I say Hare Krishna, I'm actually putting Radharani back to Krishna. It's like I'm reversing my fault that I did, that I just wanted to enjoy the pleasure potency myself, and took Radharani away from Krishna. Now, when I put them back, I'm actually very happy. I just wanted to share that realization.
Yeah, that's Prabhupada said this is the secret to life. People are running after Lakshmi, everywhere. But if you simply worship Narayan properly, which means you put Lakshmi with Narayan, then everything lines up perfectly. And he also mentioned how when we go to Sankirtan and we accept donations, we're helping the other people to unite Lakshmi with Narayan, because we take it and put it in the hundi. Say, Krishna, this is yours. Lakshmi, you take it back. And those people get benefit from that connection also. Thank you, Sukeshri. Now we have Naimisharanya.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So I was thinking
You've got two of the four Kumaras there.
Hare Krishna. So Guru Maharaj, I was thinking about the pastime where the Prachetas were meeting Lord Shiva, and then how Lord Shiva was explaining to the Prachetas that everything in this material world is temporary. And in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada then says that just like a mother gives the kids toys to play with because they want to imitate, same way Krishna has given us this material world because we want to imitate. And the only way to get out of this, because everything is so temporary, is by devotional service. And then he comes to the point of the holy name. So I was meditating on that point. And when you shared that, just by our voice, just by this simple process, we can actually transcend this entire material world. It's amazing.
Yes, and when we used to do Sankirtan daily in the St. Louis airport, the Lambert Field, there was a janitor there. All the janitors were our friends, and we were their friends. They used to, if people bought a book and then left it behind before they got on the plane, the janitors would bring them back to us, and we'd give them 50 cents per book, which was a lot of money back then. And also they'd collect many of them. I think they earned more from that than they did from their salaries. Anyway, there was one janitor there. He was an older fellow, African-American, and very down-to-earth person that he befriended us, we befriended him. It was a heart-to-heart exchange. But he had a saying. He's saying, I put the toys back on the shelf. That means to be serious. So he'd say to us, you guys put the toys on the shelf, meaning you put the toys away. You're not playing games. He said, you don't play games. You put your toys back up on the shelf. So when we're chanting Japa, it's the real thing. We put the toys on the shelf and no more game playing. It's down to the real thing, chanting Hare Krishna and being with Krishna through the holy name. Thank you very much for sharing that, Naimisharanya Prabhu and the two Kumaras. Okay, Bhakta Amit.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
I was thinking about this experience. I don't often attend this, but somehow something happened this morning and I felt like attending it. And then I joined, and it made me realize the power of the association and chanting together with that. And it reminded me of a phrase, united we stand and divided we fall, with that. So it's easy when you're doing things alone to fall off the radar, and you don't realize the potency as much and you take it for granted. But I think coming in this association, it made me realize that it brings the power together, and you nurture it together and you grow together. I was just meditating on that and grow in this devotional service, that together with everyone's association.
Yeah,
thank you,
Bhakti Amit. And I must say that I felt something also because you joined.
Thank you.
Testament to that fact. I mean, Krishna, Eko Bahu Sham, he expands into unlimited living entities. And what is Sankirtan? It's bringing back everybody together into one place to be with Krishna, because it increases Krishna's happiness when we're all together and singing his glories. And that's unlimited. What's unlimited is how many we can bring in to the fold, and we actually notice it when somebody else is there. It increases it exponentially when one more comes in. That's the power of Sankirtan. So thank you very much for being here today and for feeling that, because I felt it also when you were here.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, we tried again to contact the Supreme Personality of Godhead through our radio set. We're tuning in through the cosmos to try to make this positive contact with the Supreme. We're following the science as given by the greatest scientist ever, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who taught us how to set up the laboratory and make this experiment every day. So when I was a kid, there were ham radio operators. It was a big hobby back then. You'd get this special radio and then you put an antenna on your roof of the house, and then you'd have to get a license. And then you'd try to tune in and contact people on other parts of the earth who also had one. Does anybody know about that? You never heard of it, huh? Yes? Okay. Some of us have heard of ham radio. So this Japa. This is the intergalactic and beyond radio station that we tune into. So you have to be careful. I noticed that you get a license. You can take initiation into the thing. You get a little license for operating your radio. Take initiation Harinam. Yes, they're a member of the Ham Radio Association, and coming through the channel. And then you have to tune it with Trinada Pisuni Chena and keep trying and trying every day until you get good at it. And then the signal comes through. And then we can directly hear Krishna speaking to us. And all advancement takes place from that level. Om Tat Sat. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. I'll see you back here in about